Hello and welcome to Become the Teapot. I'm Iain.
And so am I. And can you believe it? We've been doing this old twaddle for 2 years now.
So, without further ado, let's start anniversary number 2.
And prepare to become the teapot. So, what have you learned in the last year?
My first point, artistic license or artistic liberties, I always get those two confused, is a very good thing, especially when it comes from drawing inspiration from a bad comic. I think updating the themes and the language used in the book for the screen is always worth at least approaching. You don't have to always update it, but it is very important to consider it when you're bringing something to the screen, especially something like The Boys. You know, that being said as well, I touched on this last year, but you don't need anyone to tell you what to read. Even though we've just said you need to go and read Watchmen, if there's a character or a team that you want to just read about, just jump in, just go pick up an issue. It could be issue 1, that does kind of help. It doesn't have to be, but you can jump in anywhere, figure it out along the way, and it's a good idea to branch out, not just to stick in the Marvel and the DC world. Independent comics and short runs can be fun too.
Definitely. No, I agree with all of that. Good lessons.
What is your lesson or first lesson that you've learnt?
The first lesson is green apples.
Green apples. Right, okay.
Green apples. Green apples are good for recording, as it turns out. We learnt this. They have malic acid in them, which helps to reduce mucus and is therefore good at reducing lip smacking sounds and also general mouth sounds. It's a short-term solution, and how much they actually do, I don't have a clue. But hey, they're also good for you. So eat green apples, especially if you are recording a podcast.
And you know what they say, an apple a day helps you record a podcast.
They do say that.
The well-known phrase.
An apple a day helps you discuss Michael Bay.
Oh, then just don't eat apples then.
Oh no.
Don't eat them. Don't do it.
Now stop. I'm going to vomit up this apple I just ate. No. But yes, I was as surprised as anyone, and I don't actually know if it works. But hey, fellow podcasters out there, give it a go.
Yeah, well, there you go.
What else have you learned?
So, again, something that I briefly touched on last year, but it's continuing into this year, is that this podcast has made me a lot more confident in speaking and especially organising notes, which has helped in personal and work life. I know we always make a joke about it, and I make jokes all the time, but my stutter does come and go. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but I've come to appreciate that if you want to do something, don't let your speech hold you back. Yes, you do edit out a lot of my pauses and things like that, but overall, it comes across as good fun. Hopefully the podcast does. Fair enough, I did start off a bit timid and you used to do all the intros for us.
Yes, I did, yeah.
And then we jumped in together and away we went. And, you know, like I said, if you want to do something, don't allow your speech to hold you back.
That's a good point. Yeah, and honestly, editing-wise, it's mostly gaps or repetition that I remove as opposed to the actual stutters themselves. So it isn't a big chore at all. Certainly, I've noticed over the course of it, you have got a lot more confident and a lot better. So it obviously does help.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for that. And I also want to, well, it pains me to say this, but say well done to you. Because on a separate note, I've realised that sometimes if we speculate enough, we get things right. And this is where the well done goes to you, because you speculated that the boys would go to Russia in season 3, and I said they wouldn't because of current political things happening, and they did. So well done, mate. So
yes.
If anyone out there's got podcasts, got a YouTube channel, whatever, just speculate everything and something will be right.
In fairness, I have seen the internet and I think they're already doing that. So
well, keep going.
It's working. My last thing I've learned over the last year certainly is, dare I say it, I am getting a little bit tired of the MCU.
Ooh.
That is despite 2 of them being in my top 3 films we've covered this year. But even the ones I've enjoyed more than most are still a little bit forgettable from the last phase. But with the recent announcements at San Diego Comic-Con and D23, you know, who am I kidding? I'm going to be there to watch each and every one of them. But
oh yeah, of course.
I just need something to capture that same joy that some of those early films did.